Everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. Today we have an interesting car in the shop. It's a 1998 Saturn SW1 wagon with almost 300,000 miles on it. And the owner brought it here because his battery keeps going dead, if it sits for like more than a couple days. So I think we're dealing with a parasitic draw. Maybe he can give me a couple more details, but the diagnosis should be, well, I should start out straightforward. I don't know if it'll, how long it'll take. So, Noah, how long have you owned this beauty?
I have owned this car for like 7 years now. I paid $900 for it when it had 140,000 miles on it.
All right.
So I've gotten my money's worth.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's like so you're in the cycling club, right? So you take like road trips in it. And...
Yeah. It hasn't died on any of those yet.
All right. So it's pretty reliable.
Yeah, for the most part.
And how much oil do you have to add? every month?
Like a quart every 500 miles or so.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty standard for Saturn then.
Yeah.
All right. And it's been pretty consistent that way, or has it been getting worse?
Yeah, it's been pretty consistent.
Pretty consistent. All right. So we'll start off by doing some current measurements here at the battery. So we got our amp clamp. And the battery here is the positive. One wire goes to the fuse box, the other one goes to the alternator and the starter. So if our amp clamp is zeroed out, go around the cable. It says 0.4 amps, right around there. Take it off, it's 0. So the current is going to the fuse box. I can, believe that. We can check the other wire just in case. There's basically nothing going that way. So we'll leave the clamp here. Again, this amp clamp is a little finicky in terms of keeping the 0. There, 0.3 amps. That's pretty good. So now, before pulling any fuses, let's just use a regular voltmeter and do the voltage drop test across each fuse. And if there's current flowing through a fuse, we should see something on the screen if the glare isn't too horribly bad. So we'll start with these big ones. Go like that. 0. Next one. 0. This guy. 0. 0.6. So that's not 0. This guy, 0. And I already went through, checked all the small ones. They are also 0. Like that. So the only fuse we're worried about is this big guy, 30 ampere maxi fuse, 0.6 millivolts, 1/3 of an amp draw. And that fuse right here is labeled 30 amp IP BAT.
That's the noise that it makes.
Where's this? It makes a noise.
Yeah. So I can stop the noise by playing with the locks.
Wait, don't play with it.
Okay.
You hear that, guys? There's a ghost. Well, then that's too easy, right?
Probably.
So the lock motor seems to be trying to close the door. That's fantastic. Let's see what happens if we unlock it. All right. Don't touch it. We don't want to fix it.
I can make the problem happen really easily.
Alright, well, we can reproduce the problem. So let's see, we're still at 0.6. So if we pull this fuse, let's see if that noise stops.
Okay.
Bingo.
Okay.
Okay, our current went down, the locks, noise stopped. Put it back in. Now before, we still had that draw, but the noise wasn't there, right?
Right.
So we still have the draw, but the noise stopped. Okay, well that's a great clue. The next step is to go to a wiring diagram for power distribution, see what that guy feeds, and see if it has something to do with the power locks. Alright, we've got our BBB Industries pulled up. I found the 30 amp IP BAT fuse that's in the underhood fuse box. Then it goes to the instrument panel junction block and splits up. There's a 10 amp body fuse, and the next page 20 amp locks. So it goes to these relays for the power locks. So let's go to this instrument panel junction block, find that fuse, measure the voltage across that, see if the current is going there. We can pull it, see if the draw goes away. We'll narrow it down that way. So let's just double check that we still have a draw on this big guy. Yep, 0.6 millivolts. Now we'll come over here to the instrument panel fuse box, and good thing we do have labels on here. They're kind of hard to read on a black background. But right there we have body, we have locks right above the fuel pump relay, 20 amp. So that guy right there, let's do another voltage measurement. .4 millivolts on that guy. 0 on the lighter fuse. Let's check the body. .9. Oh man. Go back to the locks. .3.4. So 2 fuses that have a draw. So let's try pulling the lock fuse out. We even have a handy fuse puller here. Nice. Okay. Let's see if the body fuse is still drawing anything. It's showing 0.9. This might get a little more interesting than just locks. We still have a draw here. Double check this guy. Oh, come on. That's 0. Now that's 0.4. So a little bit, it dropped a little bit, but not much. So now we're like 0.2 amps. Now let's pull the body fuse. Oh, get that guy out of there. And we should be at 0. Yep, 0 amps on the draw there, and then 0 on that fuse. So, okay, back to the diagram. We have to pull 2 fuses, which is basically everything. So the lock fuse and the body fuse here. Okay, so that's interesting because the right front and left front door lock switch are on the body fuse, and the actual lock fuse feeds these relays. So I think now we need to pull up a diagram for the power locks and focus on that system separately. Alright, focusing on this door lock system. So we have our body fuse right there, 10 amp, and then the 20 amp lock fuse here. The lock fuse just feeds the lock and unlock relays, and the the load side goes to the actual actuators and the doors, and the control side is powered by the actual switches in the doors, the lock and unlock switches. So again, you press the switch, you get power to the lock or unlock position, then it goes to one of the relays to the control side, and then that's just grounded down here. Right there, there's a ground. And this keyless entry, owner says that the car is not equipped, so we won't worry about that for now. So basically, there's a constant draw right now. The question is, where exactly is it going? Is it going through, I mean, we know it's going through a 10 amp in the body. Now, is it going to these actual switches, like on the driver's door or the passenger's door? Or is it going to, we measured voltage on both of these fuses, but the thing is, like, if one of these switches is messed up and it's just powering this relay on, then we would have a draw going to both sides. So let's do a little poking around, play with these buttons a little bit, and see what works and what doesn't. Alright, so what I did just now was I put both fuses back in, the lock and the body fuse. Now, the draw seems to have gone away for the moment. 0. We don't have any noises, right? So, I'm wondering if I play with these switches. I just barely touched that, I didn't really press it in. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh boy. It's trying to lock. That's so cool. Yeah, you see the little lever? Let's try again. Unlock. Ooh, it worked. And then lock. They actually work, it's amazing. But if you keep it, if this thing gets stuck, it doesn't have enough juice to power all the locks at once. So basically there's like a capacitor that charges up every time you push a button. You hear a nice chunk. But if you keep doing it, that capacitor doesn't have time to charge up, and then you get this like slow action lock and unlock. So I think my theory is this switch is just worn out, and even though it's not being pressed, it gets stuck in one of the positions. We can prove that. Like, is there a draw right now? That would be a control side of the relay. There it is. 0.6. Now I'm going to carefully try to put it in the middle position. There you go. Right there. Steady. Now I think our draw should be gone. Bingo! So everything works. This switch is just on the fritz. There, lock, unlock, everything works, but it just gets stuck. This gets stuck depressed, and then it keeps constantly trying to power up those locks. Current going through the relay. So he needs to be there. Then you have no battery draw. That's fantastic. I mean, we could probably try to fix it right now with no parts, or we could try to get a new rocker switch. But that's all this car needs. That's amazing. And you still have power locks. Most of them work, right? There's the one in the
I don't know if this one works.
Yeah, it looks like it works.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't actually work.
Oh.
Yeah, like the lock itself doesn't work.
Well, the actuator works. You can see the little thing. That's a nice solid action there. So yeah, let's maybe pop this little door handle off and see if we can repair the trusty Saturn. Alright, so we got the door handle off. Pop this sucker out. So it's getting stuck in the unlock position. So there's this little spring-loaded action piece doesn't work. So let's keep digging at it. You guys might say just replace it already. No, I don't know. Might as well take it apart, right? It's fun. Probably gonna snap some of this old plastic though. We can take this white part out of the housing. Okay. Ah, we see some broken pieces on the inside. There's one piece. So that guy is a little spring-loaded thingy, and I mean, oh well. Let's try to put it back together. You got that one little nib out. This spring-loaded white piece snapped off, but we'll see if we can. So it goes like that, I think. Point it down. So the spring-loaded action doesn't really return it to its initial position. That's the only thing wrong with it. In 300,000 miles, that's the only thing that broke? Or did you have other failures now?
Nothing too major. Yeah.
Transmission?
The transmission needed to be rebuilt, but that was because my brother drove it really hard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that was about 100,000 miles ago, and it's been going strong since then.
Nice. Who did the rebuild?
Well, I'm from Gettysburg, so a local shop back there did it.
Nice. Okay.
I think it's just called Gettysburg Transmissions.
Huh. 'Cause usually nowadays you just either get one from a junkyard or no one really rebuilds things anymore. I don't know of a good transmission shop around here. In any case, as far as the parasitic draw goes, got it figured out pretty quick, and that's the fix. Just needs a new lock and unlock switch, and he'll even have power locks back and no more battery draw. So that, thanks all for watching. Thanks Noah for bringing me your vintage Saturn.
Yeah.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. So we found a little workaround for the door locks. We installed the crappy rocker switch on the passenger side, so just so it plugs the holes, but we left it unplugged. So this doesn't do anything, just hanging out in the breeze, plugging that hole up. But on the driver's side, we put the working passenger buttons, and this thing, it works beautifully. Fantastic. Make sure we have no draw. Final confirmation here. And that fuse, I think we should be in good shape. So right now, you know, the body's 0.1, that's the clock or something. So beautiful. I like it. Now the key works too, right? You can lock it with a key?
Yeah. I think it only does the driver's side though.
Oh, okay. So you actually need to push the button to activate the locks. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way it's designed to work then. Deal. Done deal. All right. That was a little bonus footage. We'll work around. This car's on a budget, so we weren't going to buy a new push button. All right. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.